Welcome to the second episode of Beyond the Feed, the podcast where we explore narratives and themes beyond your feed. Again, if you don't know, my name is Champa Bella and I'm your host. Today, we're going to be talking to a very close relative of mine. Joining us today is Samantha Adalia, a valedictorian from American University of Armenia, completing her bachelor's in English and Communications in 2023. She's currently finishing her master's in creative management and new media at Kishlovsky Film School at University of Silesia in Poland. She also has other remarkable achievements such as speaking for TEDx in 2021 at her university, collaboration with Folk Art Museum of Armenia and Tufenkian Foundation for PR campaigns/content writing in 2021 and 2023 respectively. She has also interned at the Armenian-based Voshner Tour Company for their social media marketing. So in this episode, we'll be exploring social media's effect on her life as a third culture kid as she moved from the Philippines, Nepal, and Armenia throughout her life. We'll also be tackling the question, has social media commodified the sense of wonder? And that is it for the intro of episode 3 of Beyond the Feed podcast. Hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to, so the title of this podcast is Beyond the Feed. So yun, we'll be tackling stories and narratives, themes beyond the social media feed. So would you like to introduce yourself for our guests?
All right. Thank you, Chap. I'm Isa Adalia. I'm a graduate of English and Communications at the American University of Armenia, and currently I'm doing my master's in creative management in new media in the University of Silesia in Poland. And that's everything I'm doing right now. But I was also homeschooled for my whole life until college, and also an avid user of social media, especially as an artist or a creative. And I'm currently in Yerevan, Armenia, but I grew up in the Philippines and in Nepal, and I moved here with my family in 2017. Yeah.
So brief background yan for the guests listening to this podcast
Yep.
right now. We're cousins. So ayan. So that's
Yep.
how I know her and that's how I invited her on this podcast. Pero yun.
Yes.
Siguro, just to start, how is life there lately? Kasi diba you're in
Mhm.
master? Pang ilang year na ba ngayon ng
Ah,
masters?
First year pa lang, and we're almost finishing our semester next
Mm.
week. So, it's online, and then the second year is in person in Poland.
Mm.
I mean, for
Mhm.
some of the classes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a very hectic
Wow.
week, and actually been using social media as a way to escape the
Mm.
stress. More, yeah.
Relate din sa escaping the
Yeah.
stress. Wow.
Yeah.
What's the, ano to? Siguro if college course, right? What do you call the course sa
Yeah.
masters? Like, what are you taking?
Creative management in new media. So,
Mm.
since I'm in a film school, mostly parang film background, but also like how do you parang promote film or produce film in the new social media age. So, for example, this semester we had a class called social media analysis. Tapos yung ibang classes, they gave us projects. How do you promote film, like, and how do you use social media, for example, to promote this certain
Mm.
kind of film? Yeah.
It's interesting. Oh, maganda yan ah.
Guess.
I think we could, actually yeah, let's start with
Yeah.
that. So,
Mm-mm.
siguro, let's start with that topic apart from the other points we'll go over.
Yeah.
Yung how did social media affect the
Mhm.
promotion of films in this day of age?
Mm-mm.
Like what have you got there so
I
far?
guess, yeah, I guess it depends on the target audience of the film or the TV show. If you're wanting a younger audience, then I think for example, I was seeing a lot of the Wicked
Oh
posts.
yeah, the
Kahit hindi
Wicked.
ko pa, I'm not into I don't even know the songs, but
Mm-mm.
I follow some of the actors like si Jeff Goldblum. I think the only one from that I remember. He was posting a lot of the Wicked clips and stuff. Tapos
Yeah.
there's this guy who I follow on Instagram pero he got big on TikTok. Yung username niya, guy with a movie camera. So parang he's interviewing a lot of people on the red carpet, and he's a film buff pero he makes a lot of content, I think, related to film. Parang
Mm.
20s, like our generation na din. So wait, I sort of wondered a bit, but
Go lang.
I think you to capture the audience na younger generation, you really have to be where they are and to see what are the trends that are going on, and how can you produce stuff that relates to those trends, or also presenting yung mga actors mo, yung crew in a way
Mm-hmm.
that is accessible. And I guess that takes the form of very short posts kasi yung attention span natin is very
True.
short now.
Very short
So
form.
it's like the reels, like I was watching reels with Christopher Nolan. It's like a fast-paced
Mm-hmm.
interview, and then it's funny because he doesn't have social media. He doesn't even have a phone, and he's very low tech in the terms
Yeah.
in terms of contacting the actors that he works with, and other people. But then hey, it's on this reel and everything, and it's very short and tidbits of what they're working on. So I think if I were to summarize it, using the way and that social media works, and also how to analyze how it's working on social media monitoring. And okay, I feel like I gave a very scattered response, but that's
Yun
how
lang.
I saw it.
Mm.
And I think, wait, there was something else in my mind, but I forgot. If I remember it,
Mm.
I'm gonna say it again
Sige, sige.
later. So,
Why? Kasi like speaking
yeah.
of that, I've noticed even big brands like KFC, McDonald's,
Yeah.
like they would post yung sinasabing Gen Z marketing when it comes to
Mm-mm.
posting in that field. So parang I think even the way movies are made nowadays, parang ano ba yung recent? If I remember, one of the recent ones na I think last year, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is like a kids directed movie, pero parang
Ooh.
the personality
Yeah.
of them na kasi unlike before, it's just cool. Parang ngayon, it's very Gen Z personality,
Yeah.
no? Would you say
Mm-mm.
like like that's like a tangent na parang because of social media,
Mm.
movies are now being made in a different way to cater to this new parang audience
Mm.
of people who just browse social media all day.
Uh, yeah, I remember there's the Transformers, parang the
Ah,
Beasts. I
yeah.
forgot the
The,
title. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one I loved that they had a more diverse cast, yung
mm,
main cast nila. And pero it's set in the 80s. So
mm,
or 90s. So parang different era, but somehow it feels very modern. Maybe it's because of
mm,
the age of the main characters. Um, but social media in like influence on the current films. Um, Maybe the way that it's depicted. I think
mm,
of Dear Evan Hansen. I think it was more of a 2010s thing na it's about, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's about this guy who his friend dies pero he makes a lot of tributes to him on social media. Pero actually, it's built on a lie because he wasn't that close with the friend. Parang, I don't know if he made those social
mm.
media stuff for attention, but it deals a lot with that as well. But yeah, wait, what was your main question again?
Ah,
How
siguro
does social
parang
media influence
I got lost yun.
feel? Because
Ano?
actually, I haven't been watching a lot of recent
Mhm.
films. I guess that's why. Or
Ah,
more of yung the past decades.
mhm.
So I'm not sure if the trend is really going there. Pero I feel na kahit yung I remember this 65 with Adam Driver. The language that they were speaking in were they're supposed to be parang before there was humanity on Earth. There were these
Mm,
other alien civilizations. Tapos yung um family niya, they're talking. They're using the way that they speak is like how people speak in 2020s. And yung mga science fiction shows in the past, they're more of Shakespearean is the way that they talk.
True.
But even now, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the shows and stuff that talk about the past, parang they have this very modern way of talking, which I don't like. Kasi it's still we're still in the same era. Parang yun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, it's kind of a tangent. But yeah,
Okay
I
lang.
think maybe it's the communication
Mm-hmm.
thing.
I see. So, girl, let's go to one of the topics you mentioned when I was
Yes.
messaging, yung social media as a creative outlet you mentioned.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yes.
siguro, let's start with your personal. How do you use your social media as a creative outlet? Parang as, as a,
Yeah.
since I'm a third culture kid, former homeschooler and everything.
Mm, yeah. I loved it from the start as a place to put my photography or the things that I found. Kasi I was in Nepal when I first opened Instagram. Kasi that's where I mainly put the creative stuff. Although I did stuff sa Tumblr, Ask
Mm-hmm.
FM before. And pero yung Instagram is like the really artsy place
Mm-hmm.
because it's image based. Tapos I like lately yung stories because it's full screen and you can put your photos there
True.
and
Mm-hmm.
somehow just put things without really writing a big caption, letting the images speak for themselves. Tapos I'm trying to return to yung the early days of my Instagram where I just posted the cool stuff that I saw like on the street or something, instead of being concerned of how does my feed look or like will
Mm-hmm.
this get a lot of likes. I've been trying to go back to when I started, and I also have a Finsta where I put the more like personal stories
Yeah.
na I think wouldn't or I don't want to share to like most of the people on my
Mm-hmm.
main account. And I just want it to be there or as a way to remember like the what did I go through in my creative journey. Yeah, and I think also it's a way to share a message in a creative way. Kasi as a pastor's kid and a follower of Christ, I find na if we have tools, then we can use them to point people to God. So if the creative way is the way to do it, then why
Mm-hmm.
not? Yeah.
Ano, I wanna take the part where you said na parang going back to the old days of Instagram, just posting whatever cool thing I want. What I noticed rin
Yeah.
kasi, a lot of, for me, I use the most social media I consume, YouTube talaga. Video essays, all of that. Because I
Mm.
love watching
Yeah.
very long videos. And a
Mm.
lot of videos right now, I've seen siguro a fad, parang ganun, a sort of trend na parang people are going
Mm.
back to the old social media days. Would you say that parang in your own
Mm.
personal way
Yeah.
na it's more benefiting to just post it like organically raw lang parang oh this is cool I want to show this to
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yeah. I think that's a good way because it goes away from the parang I'm posting this to get views or for people to notice me and it feeds our ego, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or yung insecurity na oh if I don't post this parang I'm missing out, our people will be and posting the organic stuff and the raw stuff helps us to express ourselves more yung what
Mm,
do we really like kasi it's
yeah.
different per person yung interest niya and I think for example me I like objects and street photography or architecture. This my sister, she's been posting a lot of she's borrowing our friend's camera tapos posting a lot of pictures of her friends. So I think she values the connection that she has with friends from university and outside and
Mm-hmm.
it's something different. So it helps us to express ourselves more.
Mm-hmm. Ah, I see. How about the
Yeah.
you said the Finsta. Would you like to clarify what that is?
Yeah.
Clarifying to the other people here watch.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I already had other accounts like an art account. Tapos I forgot if I opened this after the Insta, pero it's about Soviet architecture din. Meron din ako isa.
Mm.
Pero the Finsta, I forgot why I opened it, but um maybe because I just wanted to be more free with posting
Mm.
pictures without caring what other people think. Again,
Yeah.
there's that security
Yeah.
identity part. And because I love collecting things and sharing them. And yung Finsta is like where I can do that unbounded by how many likes. At ganun
Tama.
pa din
Yeah.
pala. But yung para I wouldn't be embarrassed
Parang
if I
more
shared it there.
focused, selected audience siya, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's another way I guess to express myself in a
Mhm.
way I wouldn't in the public eye.
Gets.
Yeah.
Ah, siguro ano, that kind of connects to that one point you said din na yung how social media has commodified the sense of wonder. Do you wanna ano,
Yeah.
expound on that?
Mm-mm. Yeah. And because there's this term social capital. I connect it to
Mhm.
yung mga old novels like you have to marry into a rich family so you can like be higher on the
The
social
social norm.
ladder. And I think here I think what I've noticed is that we post things like oh I went to this restaurant or I did this cool thing or I saw this celebrity or parang something's happening in a mall and I'm taking a picture of it parang to show that oh I did something or kind of showing off.
Mm.
But I know there's also the other side na I think in the Filipino culture we want to connect, we want to share yung our lives with each other. Because for example, I was talking in my social media analysis class. Most of them are Polish, and then I was saying like Philippines, it's very communal. Kasi in Europe and the West, people are more individualistic. They keep to themselves
Mm.
more, very private. And I noticed that yung mga social media ng people from there, like the church people I know from Europe, they're not as like us na they post a lot of what they're doing.
Talaga.
Like unlike in Asia.
Mhm.
Yeah, parang very rare or I guess if you're an extrovert na European, like you
Yeah,
would post
siguro.
more but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Aw,
But
it's interesting.
going back to the yung commodifying things, I think that we have that in the back of our mind na if I want to take a picture of this so I can post this and it's going to give me more views, more likes or and me I think as someone who has a communication background I'm thinking like oh this kind of post gave me more views. Now I know how to
Mhm.
like what to post or like which way do I crop the photo to get
Mm.
more views. Parang it's for me sometimes it's my experiment na how can I get a message across more to
Mhm.
people. But other times like it's just like parang the natural side. It's like oh if I do this I'm gonna get more views and it's gonna make me happier. Parang ganun. And I'm like no it shouldn't be like that. And I don't know if it's like that for other people, but from conversations I've had, or I can guess that it's like that. Wait, yeah. Or
Oh.
like talking about the Armenian side, like a lot
Yeah,
of
sige.
people I see like from observing they really put image as a high priority. Like if for us, if it's community, like oh we wanna share the humor, yung mga
Ah,
funny stuff that we see or the stuff we do with our friends. Here they also do yung like about their friends and all. But people here dress up so well, like parang they're
oh.
going to a party a lot
Mm.
or going to the office parang party yung outfit or before when we just moved here, pumunta kami sa grocery, tas yung parang bibili ka lang ng eggs, tas
Yeah.
naka-stiletto ka. Or,
Oo.
so,
Just
or
eggs.
yung the moms oh
Ah,
yeah, in the park when they're pushing the stroller, yun din naka-heels, or
wow.
yung the coat, designer coat, and everything. And
So it's
like,
very like
posting a lot about yeah,
yeah.
yung brands and good photos and if you
Mm.
got new nails and new hair. Tapos yung the street that we live in is parang the BGC of
Oh,
Yerevan. So a lot
really?
of people here are taking pictures. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're not being affirmed enough like around in their own families or
Mm.
friends. That's why they're trying to get attention. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's for me parang the sad example na of as an observer
Mm-hmm.
yung in their culture, like insecurity, I see insecurity is really high, and it's
Really?
expressed in that social media, yung posting stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
actually nga pag when we're with some people, some of the people we've met in the past, more so in the past, na when we post a group picture, sometimes nag-message yung isa sa kanila sa kay dad, yung nag-post ng group pics, and she was like, so, yung nag-post si dad ng group picture, and then one of the Armenians, she messaged him, sabi niya, can you delete this please? Because I don't look good in
Oh.
it. So he
Oh.
had to delete it. Tapos minsan when I take pictures with people, tapos
Mm-hmm.
I show them, sabi niya, tinitingnan nila lahat ng group pictures. Sabi niya, oh, I don't look good in this. So just post this. Ganon sila. So
Ah.
parang very high value on image, and it's being, I think, expressed or exacerbated by social media. So, I think parang yun yung extreme,
Oo nga,
one
no?
of the extremes that I've seen as like yung the idea of
Mm-hmm.
commodification. Yourself as a commodity.
True.
Yeah.
It's like nagiging brand ka na in a way. It's like a personal brand na in sort
Yeah,
of
but
parang ganun.
it's it's not healthy.
True.
Ganon.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
Yeah.
for me at least, from my perspective, I'm starting to see that na rin here in the Philippines with some of my friends
Mm-mm.
na
Yeah.
some of them will go, ano nga eh, okay, so I don't know if the people listening, that's gonna be listening to this episode, love this place, but Cubao Expo in Cubao,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a place na parang very, like, it's posted a lot on Instagram and social media. But when I went there, I was like, there's nothing to
Yeah.
do here. Like, there's just bars and mga
Yeah.
anik-anik stores, like antique stores. I was like, there's nothing
Mm-mm.
really to do here. What, like, what's the, there's no hype.
Yeah.
So, it's parang people are going here just to post themselves with the mirror, the circular mirror for, like, for traffic and stuff. They have a mirror kasi they're set up.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
people are going here just to do that. Parang,
Overrated.
yeah, overrated siya, honestly. Pero
Yeah.
parang, yun nga, I
Mm-mm.
think, I agree dun sa parang, the commodifying of the sense of parang wonder of social media. Na
Yeah.
parang, very
Yeah.
focused na tayo sa self-image. Sometimes ako guilty ako ganun, minsan. But like,
Yeah, me too.
before I post, I have to remind myself, what am I posting this for? Parang ganun.
Yeah,
Pero yeah.
right.
Mm,
The motivation.
yeah.
Yeah.
For example, ano nga recently?
Yeah, and yeah.
Sige.
Yeah, you first,
Sige.
you first.
Recently,
'Cause
yun nga,
I
I've been
Yeah.
focusing more on like physical health. So I've been, as much as possible, like I want to post
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
workout I did for the day, parang ganun, if I did a workout for the
Yeah.
day. Tapos recently, I don't know if you've seen, but like I worked out muscle. So obviously papakita ko yun, 'di ba? So my intention to post that was like to like show to my other friends that also work out. It's like, hey guys, I'm also working out, parang ganun. And then it was so funny
Parang
kasi
accountability.
yeah, accountability.
Yeah.
What was so
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
kasi actually I got sick noon, no? Pero nung Sunday when my parents went to church, they're unang bungad, like they come in, and then one of our church members said, si Cham, ganito na nagpo-post, ha? And I was like, huh? I didn't think it would be taken that way. But I was like, oh nga, no, that's something I have to consider. I was like, will
Yeah,
people see
the
this as
ano-
like, diba? Like how people will, like, will they see it as, oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying
We
to...
can't control it na.
Exactly.
Oo.
So...
It's like an art. Parang when you give
Hmm.
your let your film go out there, people are gonna interpret it in
Yeah.
so many
It was
ways.
funny experience lang.
Oh.
Pero it makes
Yeah.
sense naman because it's like,
Yeah.
well, like people don't really know me for that kind of stuff. So, siguro like
Ah.
some people there nagulat. They're like, oh wow, get the like champ works out like that. Parang ganun. Pero yeah. Siguro,
Mm.
it
Yeah.
was really funny. Anyways, going back,
Yeah.
I think I wanna take on
Oo.
yung you said na parang yung sharing to others. So you said you mentioned yun nga you're in Armenia now, your relative. So parang
Yeah.
you mentioned na yung
Mm-mm.
FOMO and using social media to like
Yeah.
to go through that and be able to still connect with yeah us back here. How would
Mm-mm.
you say na parang
Yeah.
yun? Do you wanna ano?
Yeah. Um, which one do you want me to talk about first? The one being here or yung connecting to people back
Siguro
home or
connecting to people back home.
yeah. I sometimes I want to follow some friends who delete the apps for a
Mm.
certain amount of time. But I know I can't do that kasi I will not be able to connect. You see your lives further in the Philippines or in other people from other countries. I will not be able to see those. Parang yung connection
Mm-hmm.
will not be there. And also it's my ministry then, connecting with the people I meet and sharing God's word to them. So um I don't really think about the idea of using social media as a way to connect to roots home as much, but I think it's something that I have to reflect on kasi I mean I wouldn't say that it gave me a lot of FOMO na oh I'm not there for this kind of happening or I wish I was there. It doesn't make me bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's the actual going back that before in the past that would make me bitter na oh why aren't people welcoming me as much or wanting to listen to my stories as much as I expected. But social media in this part of my life naman I don't think about it. Pero I think in the past I might have mentioned it to you before.
Yeah.
When I was on Ask FL, Tumblr, and on my blog, that's when I reconnected with my classmates from
Oh.
grade school, tapos nasa high school na kami.
Mm-hmm.
And on Facebook, part ako nung High Unite group and I would see yung sports fest
Yeah, the
and
events.
everything, the events there. And actually, naiyak ako one time because I'm like, I cannot be
Really?
part of the camp. Kasi I'm in
Oh.
Pulse and I'm not there for that time. And I think my dad was comforting me saying na, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I understand that feeling. Tapos yung isa ko pang friend, he's not in HG anymore. He was like, oh, I also miss this. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not
Oh.
alone. But I think it really, it was just an arm of the fact na I'm not there
Mm-hmm.
to be with people my age from the same school. And yung ano naman, Ask If I'm in Tumblr. I wasn't supposed and Twitter. I wasn't supposed to be on those platforms. Like I was disobeying my dad actually, because he's an IT
Mm-hmm.
consultant. So yung rule niya for us kids was that you can't make an account unless you've asked me. Pero I
Mm.
made those because I just wanted to connect with those friends from school.
Oh.
But like it exposed me to a lot of bad stuff on the bad side.
Mm-hmm.
Pero like I was able to talk with those friends naman. But I still regret or I still feel kind of guilty about those days.
Oh.
Like I would hide on my table on Tumblr.
I remember in back
Yeah.
then, the moment I turned 13, I made a
Yeah.
Gmail. And my
Yeah.
parents were like, what? You made a Gmail? You made a Gmail account? And I was like, it's just Gmail. And they're like, what? No. Like at first, ganun siya.
It's not just yeah. Ako din, gumawa din ako ng Gmail when I was 13.
Back then, kasi parang
Tapos,
Gmail was so serious eh. So it's like, oh, whoa.
yeah.
Ganyan, yan. But now it's like
Yeah,
no-brainer
pero
na siya.
pang professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I made, Wattpad din. grade 1 pa at that
Mm.
time. And I told naman my parents and they were fine with it. The
Mm.
other ones I didn't tell them about. So when I was 16, doon lang ako nag-confess. And
Ah.
then my dad was like, you have to delete those accounts. So dinelete ko nga. Sa college na lang ako uli
Mm.
gumawa. Kasi I
Oh.
past 18 na ako.
Gets,
So,
gets.
yun, that's I guess, the dark side
The
of
dark side.
connecting to people back home. But I'm grateful for social media in that it can teach me about what's going on, like what's the slang, what's the
Mm.
trending stuff. Although not as well as if I was there in the Philippines. Parang yung RC Cola, yung
Ah.
ad na yung the kid is an RC Cola.
Ay.
I
That's
just
so
heard
weird.
about that.
That's so weird.
Noon. I hadn't seen the video. Pero I think it was last week. Si Dad nagpo-play ng YouTube and then he was watching these Canadians reacting to Filipino commercials and I was like, that's it. So parang late na kami dun sa trend na yun.
Mm.
Or yeah, but I'm glad that I can still see what people are doing. Like I
Mm.
think for example yung Wicked din, it was the same thing because here it wasn't as trending, I
Really?
guess, or it's just me.
It was
Yeah,
super
kasi
trending here. Mm.
yeah, I would see. I think kasi people here they're not into Hollywood as much yet.
Ah.
Kasi post-Soviet, Russian
Uh-huh.
is usually their second language. So,
Oh.
yun. I think we're behind on the trends because of
It's
that.
not like as
Yeah.
accessible like the English
Yeah.
content, parang ganun.
Yeah.
Makes sense naman.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Wait, I'll add something while you search for the next one. Yung the commodification of wonder. I think we
Sige.
mentioned it
Yeah.
earlier. Because my username is Wonderfield Isa.
Yeah.
So I take wonder seriously in that like, it's something that I value. And I think that everyone should maintain that sense kasi it connects us to God and the things that He made, like sa nature.
Mhm.
But I think for Filipinos, we love taking pictures so much. So parang we're not,
Super.
for example, we're in nature or parang we're in a mall and there's these big fountains. We want to take the picture first and then usually we don't stop and linger to just behold
True.
what the wonder
Mhm.
is. Kasi the camera's in front of us. Parang
Mhm.
the moment is in there and
Yeah.
it's lost to us. Like there was a poem by Wendell Berry na there's this guy who goes on a vacation tapos may video camera siya. Tapos mag-rafting siya sa river and he's like videoing the whole thing. But
Mhm.
when he goes back, parang wala naman siya na-experience kasi puro nandun lang siya sa
Busy siya
video
recording.
camera. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's something that we have to think about. Although I know, like, I guess, like, you mentioned you love watching long videos. So parang some people have a sense that, okay, we have to slow down and we have
Oh,
to
yeah, actually.
pause,
Mhm.
yeah, and we can sit through these long things to remind us parang who we are, parang disconnecting
Yeah.
so that we can connect to ourselves.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
the disconnecting and longer stuff. Honestly, recently, I've been parang trying to really practice that. Kasi, at least in 2024, na-notice ko, I had to get off social media multiple times. Like, social media hiatus multiple times. So, I was like,
Yeah.
towards the end of the year, I was like, I want to fix this. I want to be able to, kasi, it's so fast-paced na eh. Like, like for reels, a few scrolls next, you find the funniest video of your life. Next scroll, funniest video again. So it's like the most entertaining, the most dopamine you
Yeah.
can get. So like
Yeah,
recently,
right.
for example, we moved new houses and we have a roof deck now. So
Yeah.
me and my mom
Yeah.
sometimes, actually more my mom, we would go stargazing lang sa labas. Recently nga we saw
I remember.
Jupiter, Mars, and Venus.
Yeah, I saw her post.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and there was one night then where I was just so tired. Like the whole week was tiring and stressful for me.
Yeah.
I went up and just laid down on the bench upstairs. I was like just looking at the stars.
man.
So parang totoo nga yun.
Goals.
Totoo talaga yun yung parang
Mm-mm.
taking your time to slow down
Yeah.
talaga. And just,
Mm-mm.
honestly, parang stop living for social media and live just in the
Yeah.
moment. Kasi,
Mm-mm.
if you think about
Yeah.
it, like, social media is really new eh. Diba?
Yeah. Right.
It's like,
Uh,
for hundreds of years, people have lived without
mm-mm.
social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
parang,
Yun, yeah.
mm,
Yun
ay,
yung question
ah,
nung prof namin sa social media analysis. What do you see as the future of
diba?
social media? Is it going to decline or what? Sabi ko parang we in the 60s or 50s nagkaroon ng TV. Before that there was radio. So
Mm,
parang replaced yung radio with TV. And then TV got replaced by the internet. Tapos may social media ngayon.
yeah,
So we just keep on adapting. And I think it's gonna be here for decades until something new comes
true.
up
Like something
in the
entirely new.
future. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
new,
And I remember. Oh, yeah.
yeah. I know, I was just gonna say like
Yeah,
parang
wait, you
the
for.
new TV to the radio, parang ganun. Like same way in
Yeah,
social
yeah,
media.
right. Mm-mm. Yeah. Mamaya VR yun or something. I don't know.
Integrated the
I'm not
inner
a
minds.
futuristic.
There's a chip in our head.
Oh, gosh.
That's scary.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I remember one of a pastor was talking sa Philippines like 10 years ago, mga 2013, 2014. And he was quoting someone saying na, this is the age where we have so much information, so many things to do. We're gonna be bored to death with so many, like, all of these
Mm,
things that we can do. And I think that's what's happening with the new generation now.
true.
So much information, it's at our fingertips, but then we still head to social media because we're addicted to it than exploring
Mm,
that wealth of information, or maybe because it's overwhelming, we don't know where to start, or no one is teaching us how to pursue like, new skills or learn those new things, and we're just being we're babysat by the
true.
phones instead of actually doing stuff.
That's so
Yeah.
true. Honestly, I've seen so many of my friends really say it's like our parents were correct. It's the phone. It's the phone. It's really kakaselfon mo yan. Like even me, I really parang oh
Oh,
nga no.
God.
I catch myself while I'm browsing. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pero true
Yeah, and I'm
talaga.
trying to avoid yung going around the house while on my phone or nasa
Yeah.
CR nagpo-phone. Yung multitasking. Dapat hindi.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Parang I think naman like there's a good effect then to an extent, parang ganun. Pero when it
Yeah.
starts controlling our lives, oh no, nakakatakot na talaga.
Yeah.
Kasi
Mm-mm.
parang we start to lose, parang yun, we have so much information at our fingertips, but like we already have
Mm-mm.
a lot of information going on around us. Parang, at least that's my
Yeah.
perspective. And we can choose to observe what's happening around us, parang
Yeah.
ganun. Even though it's
Mm.
like, it's not
Yeah.
flashy and like, it's not like in your face,
Mm-mm.
parang, this is how to get rich in 50 days. Parang ganun. It's not like that kind of
Oh, yeah.
content. Pero
Yeah.
parang,
Mm-mm.
taking the time, what I've done rin actually, on a tangent lang, pero parang, what I've done recently, if I am going to browse social media, I'm gonna take my time. Parang ganun. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain it, pero I've been browsing social media in like a slow way. So
Mm.
parang instead of like
How?
I want parang very intentional opening social media personally.
Mm.
I would
Yeah.
open it like with the intention, okay, what am I gonna do here? So if it's entertainment,
Yeah.
na parang ganun. At least for me,
Mm-mm.
what I do, if I want entertainment, I try to avoid reels now kasi
Yeah.
it's ano talaga, it's such a downward spiral when the moment you open
So
Instagram.
you're
The
meant to
moment you
scroll.
open
The
Instagram.
sign nila.
Exactly. Tapos
Oh.
before kasi Instagram was just photos eh. And now like you see a
Yeah.
photo pop up, you scroll down and it's like the
Uh,
accounts like you should follow. And then the next thing is a
Yeah.
reel
Yeah.
agad. It shows the reel immediately. So you
Oh,
open
yeah,
the,
true.
diba?
Oh,
And sometimes
yeah.
like you have to tap the reel to finish the video.
You don't know.
So
Yeah.
when you finish the
Ah,
video, you
right,
scroll
right.
pa, and ayan na, you're hooked na. You're
Yeah.
hooked on scrolling social media na for the next 2 hours. Pero,
Yeah.
like, I'm not hating on social media naman. Pero parang, totoo talaga yung,
Yeah.
you need to really harness
Mm-mm.
your focus, no? If you really focus
Yeah.
on the important
Kaya,
things.
yung isang Christian pastor na, si Ian Simpkins, like, he has these text posts. Tapos when Instagram put the 20 photos feature, I find myself
Oh,
just, I want to go to the end, hindi na, and I realize like, it's bad.
diba?
That's my first response.
Mm,
I want to savor the message that he's sharing. Pero I'm like, no,
true.
I want to finish his post so I can go to the next post.
Relate.
So like, oh.
With the ano pa nga eh,
Yeah.
the brain rot happening now. So, yung sinasabi. Have you seen, okay wait, have you seen the AI where you can put like the PDF of your textbook and it will summarize it for you in a brain rot way? It turns it into
Oh
the
my
Minecraft parkour
gosh, I wanna
video.
use that.
I tried it once and I was like,
Oh
like, it does a good job summarizing. But I was like, I'm not gonna learn the whole thing if I use this.
yeah.
Parang, oh, sayang yung material. Like, oh no. Pero yeah.
I love yung the ads of the old museum people talking in brain rot. Yung,
Like, Shakespeare
it
talking,
became the
Albert
inspiration.
Einstein talking, the AI. Have you seen?
Hindi ko pa yun nakita.
I've seen.
No!
Okay,
You
it's like
haven't sent
podcast
me.
format. Pero para, like, do you know those podcasts?
Yeah.
So it's that, but they would take a
Mm.
picture of like Cleopatra, Shakespeare, Aristotle, and then make them talk about, for example, some of them are helpful. Like for me, the math ones are very helpful.
Life.
Pero they would talk about like how to
Ah.
do this,
Yeah.
and then he would just explain. You just see Albert
Oh,
Einstein
man.
on your screen, or just explaining, or
Yeah.
even like YouTube influencers like Mr. Beast, like big YouTubers, explain math to you.
Oh, man.
It was so weird when
Oh,
I first came across, kasi it looks so real.
yeah.
I was like, what? It looks so real. And then I was like, something's weird. And then I realized, AI, it's AI happening on my screen.
Yeah. The
I,
question is it actually helping kids?
diba? Honestly, yun yung ano, with the rise of,
Man.
that's another topic, but like
Yeah.
with the rise of AI, that's also like a very
AI.
good question.
Yeah.
Pero yeah.
It connects to I made a note here.
Mm.
When I was doing one of my literature projects, may isang scholar that he was talking about the hype. I think sa 90s or 80s siya. Sabi niya, we will have this hyper-realist world. Parang I think he was talking about screens. And it will be the very similitude of life. Parang copy of life that's actually that's very, very close to life. And we will live in that reality and forget that we have an actual reality. I'll try to find the quote. Tapos now with AI, like, how will we know what's true or what's not
True.
if it's gonna develop better and better?
It's been getting
So,
better na. Like, people can get scammed
yeah.
using AI na. Have you seen
Yeah.
those?
Oo nga.
Like, they would...
I think when the phone
Yeah, the
calls.
phone call,
Yeah.
the picture, na parang, I'm in a business
Yeah.
meeting, so, like, send me money, parang ganun. Tapos, it looks like your friend talaga.
Yeah.
Identity theft's gonna be... Honestly, actually, if you think
Yeah,
about it, with the rise of AI and social media, all the more we need to get off social media. Sa tingin mo?
Yeah. Or we need more media literacy.
Yeah, that
That's what
too.
was taught to us in journalism class tsaka media and society.
Mm.
Yung knowing how to think critically about sources. Like, where are you getting this
Ooh.
news from? Kasi
Mm.
fake news and all. And that was the time for us na may war with the neighboring country. So, like, where did you get that news that this city was attacked or something? Like, is it real?
True.
Ganon. So, we have to learn how to understand which kind of media is true, and
Mm.
the way that it's written, where did it come from, how was it, how did the journalists get this news, or yeah, I think that works with news, but I think for other things it's important too.
Tama.
Yeah.
Ay, nasa haba ng conversation natin. We went
Oh,
from social media, creativity, wonder,
yeah.
FOMO, AI conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
but but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Mm-mm.
to summarize, kasi we're running on 46 minutes now. What
Okay.
would you say
Wow.
parang
Real
on
podcast. Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
What would you
Yeah.
say parang the biggest effect or the biggest effect on your life social media has
Mhm.
given you? Parang ganun.
Mm. Ooh, that's a tough question. Biggest effect. Um, I think it really made me think a lot of the reason why I'm doing
Mhm.
things, and of course the connection part is there. Na it's a ministry tool. It's a way for me
Mhm.
to see what people are doing around the world, and hearing thinking na why am I posting this? Is it for myself or is it for others? And if it's for others, how can I best give them the message that is gonna help them out? And you, I think being a nerd also, like getting
Mhm.
information from different social media sites, and yeah, just because I love to think about things like topics or what people are talking about, and I guess it helped me know myself more,
Mhm.
like the introspective side of myself, like looking at these posts, how does it inspire me, how or asking God now that I saw this or I was influenced by this. For example, seeing my friends post on Instagram, she like very as aesthetic posts, but then she would post like, "Oh, I'm skipping school so I can shop. I mean college so I can shop," and then that made me lazy like for a few weeks, and afterwards I was like, "No, I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not honoring God. I may be
Ooh.
following her style, but I'm not following the style of God."
Mm.
So it also parang becomes an indicator for me in my walk with God,
Mhm.
that the Holy Spirit uses those moments to teach me when I make mistakes through social media, or like as an effect of social media, and He teaches me through those. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for the answer. Really nice.
Yay.
That sounds so formal. But yeah.
Yes.
So before before closing this episode, where
Mm-mm.
for the listeners, how do you want do anything like you
Yeah.
want to shout out, send off, or gonna like promote yourself,
Mm-hmm.
gonna anything you want to say?
Okay. uh Wait, I wanted to share my blog. Like,
Sige,
okay ba yun?
go.
Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
yeah, yeah.
Na, it's, I don't know if you would categorize it as social media, but it's where I write a lot of stories
Mhm.
from my experiences or my comments on life. Like I'm planning to write a blog about the my idea of the commodification of wonder, because
Ooh.
yeah, it needs to be in a longer form. So if you want to see like photos in a way that you're not on social media and you're like, okay, I have to scroll to the next post, it's gonna be there. I have some like kind of photo essays there, and I think as a message to the listeners, I would just encourage you to think about why you're using social media, and is it benefiting you, and how
Mhm.
can you disconnect so that you can connect to the people around you. And especially I think, for example, for the parents or those taking care of younger people, like think about, I'd like you to think about how your kids are using it so that
Mhm.
they will be able to control themselves or guard themselves against the addiction of social media
Mhm.
and be there as guardians. And for the kids, if kids are gonna be
Yeah.
listening to this, yeah, just think about why. Or like, are you like, I guess, ask people around you who are older to help if you need help. Like, how do I understand this thing on
Mhm.
social media or how I'm using it? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's and I yeah, that's
What's the
it.
ano ulit? Kasi, the link to
Yeah.
your blog pala.
To my blog,
Yeah.
wonderfilledisa.blog. So that's
Yan.
okay. Wonderfilled, like FILLED, and dot
Mm.
blog.
That blog.
So it's all in one word.
Yan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ayun. Well, I'll also have that
Yay.
posted alongside the reel.
Thank
I'm planning to
you.
make reels rin out of these episodes too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome.
That is
Thank you.
Beyond the Feed podcast. And that concludes episode 3 of Beyond the Feed. I hope this week's episode was as interesting to you as it was to me. And for a quick announcement before I close this episode, Beyond the Feed is now available for streaming on both YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And also, our Facebook page has now launched. Just search Beyond the Feed on Facebook and you'll see a page with the same logo as our Instagram. If you guys have any comments, topic suggestions, or anything else, you can leave a comment here on whichever platform you're streaming this on, or you can send us a message on either Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. See you next episode.